चलिए आज क्लास 9th का चैप्टर 7 डाइवर्सिटी इन लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म. You have ever thought of the multitude of the life forms that surround us. Sounds as if each organism is different from all others to a lesser or greater extent. In instance, consider yourself and your friends. Are you both in the same height? Or you do not look exactly like your friends? Nor your hand span the same as your friend. However, if we were to compare ourselves and our friends with monkey and wood, we say obviously we and our friends have a lot of common when compared ourselves with the monkey. But suppose we are ready to without comparison with the then think that the monkey has a lot more in common with the cow. In this activity, we had to decide that characteristics were more important in forming the desired categories. Hence, we are also deciding which characteristic would be the ingredient. Now, think in all the different forms in which life lives on Earth, apart on Earth. On one hand, we have microscopical data of the micrometer in size, while on the other hand, we have blue and redwood trees of California across the size of 30 meters and 100 meters respectively. Some pine trees for thousands of years, while insects like mosquitoes die with the purity life, also ranging from colorless or even transparent worms to brightly colored birds and flowers. This bewildering variety of life found as a whole on Earth over millions of years. However, we do not have more than tiny fractions of this time to try and understand all these living organisms, so we cannot look at them one by one. Instead, we look for similarities among the organisms which will allow us to put them into different classes and then study different classes in the groups. In order to make different groups of study a variety of life forms, we need to decide with characteristics decide more fundamental difference among the organisms would the create a main broad groups of organisms. Within these groups, similar subsegment groups will be decided by less important characteristics. What is the basic of classification? Attempt the classifying living organism into group have been made since time immemorial. Greek thinker Aristotle classified animals according to whether the living on land, on water, or in the air. This is very simple way of looking at life, but misleading too. For example, animals that live in the sea include whales, octopus, starfish, and sharks. We can immediately we see that these are very different from each other in numerous ways, and in fact that habitats in the many only points they share to common. This is no good way thinking groups of organisms to study anything about. We therefore need to decide that characteristics will be used as the basic for making the weighted decision. We will that means the next set of characteristics making within these divisions. The process of classification within each group has to continue in the times. Therefore, we go on when we think about the element of the constitutive and the trying to classify diverse group of the organism, we need find that the similar enough to the top with all the quantity reference behavior of the functions. When the constitutive is the particular from the particular function that most of the also have 5 figures on each hand is the constitutive that we can run that on a tree cannot also be constituted now to understand how some constituents are decided as being more fundamental than others. Let's consider how a stone was built. The stone will use different shapes of size. The stone at the top of the wall would not influence the choice of stone that come below them. On the other hand, the shape of the stone of the lowest layer of the decide the shape of the finest layer of the stone. The stone most layer of the like constituted that decide the greatest division among the organisms. They are independent of the constituents and their effect of the form fundamental function of the living organism. Constituents level of the dependent relation decide the this way. We can find that hierarchical immaturity related constituents to be used for classification. Now at the we look at management related constituents starting on the nature of the scale of the other classified living organism. What is some clear example of such a constituent would have classified nucleatic cell membrane bound organisms include the nucleus which allows cellular process to carry out the isolation of each others. Therefore, organisms that do not have clearly chambers, nucleus, and their organelles would we need to have their biochemical pathway. Organisms have in very different ways would be very effect on cell design. Further, nucleated cell allows the capacity of the participant making multicellular organism because they can be made of classified function there. For this is basic classification of the function. Individual cell occurs on the cell and groups is pair of groups from the single organism used. Such as body designed on the root knowledge and cells about very special function. This making very interesting to the body design decision. The result amoeba is a warm, difficult the body design when they produce own food to produce photosynthesis. When the food is on food, they can get food and outside the wood different body of the design is the organism that perform photosynthesis plants and when their body organism the individual's body develop organism different parts of site for different functions. We can we can shift of the hierarchy developing characteristics of the design and property of the function of the classified animals because the basic design different based on the food plants acquired animals. Therefore, these are designed for the having skeleton and subgroups and other groups. All living things are identified and categorized on the basis of body design, form, and function. Some constituents are likely to make more wide change in body design that could have a role in time whether some means that the effects of all other sequence design changes simply with certain other tests that come into which Charles Charles Darwin Charles Darwin first described the evolution at also Ncert region of the species. Providers remain the primitive forms were used to refer variety of form from the particular region diversity from partial environment and are effective result continuity and incidental consistent human being collision partition and the changing balance of the situation particular constituent land water climate and so rough estimated state such plant actually has 2 million or 2 arms and tropical region is between tropic of Cancer and tropic Caribbean and the rich alternative current of the region magnetic France, Brazil, and country. Yeah. Hierarchy of classification groups botanists such as Ernst Haeckel 1894, Robert Whittaker 1959 and Carl Woese 1977 we have tried to classify all living organisms into broad categories called kingdom. Ernst Haeckel 1994, Ernst Haeckel 1994, Robert Whittaker 1959 Carl Woese 1977 have tried classifying living organisms into broad categories called kingdom. The classified Whittaker proposed has five kingdoms. Whittaker proposed has five kingdoms: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Whittaker five kingdom. Whittaker five kingdom: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia, and widely used their groups formed on the basis their cells structure mode of the source nutrition and body organization modification was introduced the Monera in Archaebacteria or Arcana and Eubacteria. Bacteria is also used. Further classification is naming subgroups the level of division of phylum. पहले आता किंगडम फाइलम क्लास ऑर्डर फैमिली जेनस स्पीसीज स्पीसीज जेनस फैमिली ऑर्डर क्लास फाइलम किंगडम स्पीसीज जेनस फैमिली ऑर्डर क्लास फाइलम किंगडम पहले स्पीसीज उसके बाद जेनस उसके बाद फैमिली के बाद कौन सा ऑर्डर है उसके बाद क्लास है उसका फाइलम है उसके बाद किंगडम है They represented the organism the specific hierarchy of characteristics into smaller and smaller groups. We were arrived at the basic unit of classification which has a special somewhat organisms can be said to belong to the same species. Broadly special includes all organisms that are similar enough to breed and reproduce. The key important characteristics of the five kingdoms of Vetiver are as follows. Monera. Monera only prokaryotes. Monera. These organisms do not have the defined nucleus. Do not have defined nucleus. Or nor do any of the multicellular body designed. On the other hand, they show diversity based on many other characteristics. Some of them have cell walls while some do. Of course, having or not having a cell wall have very different effects of the body design. Hair forms having do not having a cell wall in multicellular organism. The mode of nutrition of organisms in this group can be either by synthesizing their own food autotrophic or getting it from the environment autotrophic. This group includes bacteria, blue-green algae, bacteria, blue-green algae, cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria को ही blue-green algae कहता है and mycoplasma. Some examples are Monera, Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, bacteria resting pores, heterocyst, Inabina, Monera में Inabina, heterocyst, resting pores. Protista. This group includes many kinds of unicellular eukaryotic organisms. Some of these organisms use appendages such as hair-like cilia or web-like flagella or moving around. The mode of nutrition can be autotrophic and or heterotrophic. Mode of nutrition autotrophic and heterotrophic. Example: unicellular algae, diatoms and protozoans. Unicellular algae, diatoms and protozoans. For example, paramecium, water vacuole, cilia, micronucleus, oral groups, cytosome, food vacuole, cytophags, वेस्ट paramecium में होता है वाटर वैक्यूल होता है, cilia होता है, मैक्रोन्यूक्लियस और माइक्रोन्यूक्लियस दोनों होता है। मैक्रो बड़ा होता है, माइक्रो छोटा होता है। ओरल ग्रुप्स सिस्टोजोम फूड वैक्यूल होता है, साइटोफेज। उसका अमीबा में एक्टोप्लाज्म, एंडोप्लाज्म, माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया, न्यूक्लियस, क्रिस्टल्स, फूड वैक्यूल, कॉन्ट्रैक्टाइल वैक्यूल, स्यूडोपोडिया होता है इसमें। फ्लैजिलम लॉन्ग, फ्लैजिला दो टाइप, यूग्लिना, फ्लैजिलम शॉर्ट होता है, फ्लैजिलम लॉन्ग, फ्लैजिलम शॉर्ट, फ्लैजिलम लॉन्ग, दो टाइप का फ्लैजिला, एक लॉन्ग शॉर्ट होता है, आई स्पोर्ट होता है। अच्छा, फोटोरिसेप्टर कॉन्ट्रैक्टाइल वैक्यूल क्लोरोप्लास्ट होता है, उसका न्यूक्लियस और न्यूक्लियस। उसके बाद फंगी देखते हैं। दीज आर हेटरोट्रोपिक यूकैरियोटिक ऑर्गेनिज्म, दे यूज्ड डिकेइंग ऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल, food and are therefore called saprophytes. Many of them have the capacity to become multicellular organism. At certain stage in their lives. They have cell walls made of a tough complex sugar called chitin. Example of yeast and mushroom. Some fungal species live in permanent mutually dependent relationship with blue-green algae, cyanobacteria. Such relationships are symbiotic. These symbiotic life forms called lichen में भी symbiotic relationship होता है. We have all seen lichens as the slow-growing, large, colored patches on the bark of trees. Plantae. These are these are multicellular. These are multicellular eukaryotes with cell walls. They are autotrophs and use chlorophyll for photosynthesis. Thus, all plants are included in the group of since plants and animals are most visible forms of the diversity of life around us. We will look at the subgroups in this category later. Animalia no cell wall. This includes all organisms which are multicellular eukaryotes without cell wall. Animalia में सेल वाल नहीं होता है, प्लांट में सेल वाल होता है, प्लांटी में सेल वाल, इसमें सेल वाल होता है, इसमें सेल वाल नहीं होता. Multicellular eukaryotes without cell wall, heterotrophs. Again, look their subgroups little other section. Plantae. The first level of classification among plants depends on whether the plant's body has differentiated distinct components. The next level of classification is based on whether the differentiated plant body has special tissue for the transport of water and other substances within it. Further classification look at the ability to bear seeds and whether the seeds are enclosed within fruits. Thylophyta, 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 Thylophyta. Plants that do not have well differentiated body design fall in this group. The plants in this group are commonly called algae, commonly called algae, commonly called algae, commonly called algae, commonly called algae. Plants are predominantly aquatic. Example are Spirogara, Eleutherox, Althrix, Cladophora, Cladophora, and Cara, Cladophora, and Cara, Cladophora, and Cara, Spiro, Spirogara, Eleutherox, Cladophora, and Cara. Thallophyta में Eleutherox, Eleutherox, Cladophora, Cladophora, Alna, Spirogara, Cara, Cara, Cara. और ये सेल वाल स्पायरोगैरा में इसका सेल वाल होता है, क्लोरोप्लास्ट होता है, पैरानोइड होता है, न्यूक्लियस साइटोप्लाज्म में से होता है। Bryophyta, Bryophyta. These are called the amphibians of the plant kingdom. ये इम्पोर्टेंट है। ये amphibians of plants किसको कहता है? Bryophyta. Amphibians of plant, Bryophyta. Of the plants kingdom, the plant body is commonly differentiated to form stem and leaves structure. Form stem and leaves-like structure. However, there is no specialized tissue for the conduction of water and other substances from one part of the plant body to another. Example are moss, Bryophyta, moss funaria, and mercansia, and mercansia, and mercansia, and mercansia, and mercansia, moss funaria, and mercansia, moss funaria, and mercansia, rixia, mercansia, funaria, rixia, pteridophyta, 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 pteridophyta. This in this group, the plant's body is differentiated into roots, stem, leaves, and has specialized tissue for the conduction of water and other substance. Conduction of water and other substance for the part of the plant body to another. Some examples are Marsilia, fern, and Marsilia ferns, horsetail, Pteridophyta मतलब Marsilia fern, horsetail, Pteridophyta Marsilia ferns, horsetail. Thallophytes, the bryophytes and the pteridophytes have the naked embryo. Bryophytes, pteridophytes, thallophytes, naked embryo that are called spore. Spore कहता है naked embryo को क्या कहता है? Spore कहता है reproductive organ is plants. All these three groups are very inconspicuous and they are therefore called cryptogame. Cryptogame. These are hidden reproductive organs. Cryptogame. ये तीनों को क्या कहते हैं? क्रिप्टोगेम। फेनोलोगेम में आता है और जिम्नोस्पर्म, एंजियोस्पर्म। मर्सिलिया में आता है, रूट होता है, स्टेम होता है, स्पोर कार्प होता है, लीफ होता है। ये फर्न ऑन द अदर हैंड and plants with well differentiated reproductive tissue and ultimate max seeds are called phanerogames. Seeds are the result of the reproductive process that consists of the embryo along with the stored food, which serves as the initial growth to the embryo during germination. This group is further classified based on the whether the seeds are naked or enclosed in fruit, giving us two groups: gymnosperm and angiosperm. Gymnosperm. This term is made up of two Greek words. Gymno means naked, sperm the seed, sperma means seeds, naked seeds. The plants of this group bear naked seeds are usually perennial, green and woody. Example pines. Example are pines such as deodar. Examples pines and deodar. पाइनस एंड साइकस. जिम्नोस्पर्म में क्या होता है? पाइनस साइकस. एंजियोस्पर्म. एंजियोस्पर्म. The word is made from two Greek words. Angios means covered and sperma means seed. This seed develop inside an organism which is modified to become a fruit. These are also called flowering plants. Plants embryo in seeds have a structure called cotyledons are called seed leaves because in many instances they emerge and become green when the seeds germinate. Thus, cotyledons represent the habit of the pre-designed plants of the seed. The angiosperm are divided into two groups basic of the number of cotyledon present in the seed. Plant seed having the single cotyledon are the monocotyledon are called monocotyledon. सिंगल कोटिलेडन को मोनोकोटिलेडन और मोनोकोट्स भी कहते हैं. सिंगल कोटिलेडन, मोनोकोट्स या मोनोकोटिलेडन. प्लांट्स विथ सीड्स हैविंग टू कोटिलेडन्स आर विथ डाइकोट्स एंड टू कोटिलेडन्स. दो सिंगल कोटिलेडन, मोनोकोट और मोनोकोटिलेडन्स एंड टू कोटिलेडन्स डाइकोट. मोनोकोट. Paphiopedium, dicots, Infomia, dicots, Monopodium, dicots, Infomia. Animalia. These are organisms which are eukaryotic, multicellular and heterotrophic. Their cells do not have cells walls. These are organisms which are eukaryotic, multicellular and heterotrophic. Their cells do not have cells. Cell while most animals are mobile. They are further classified based on the extent and type of the body design differentiated from the polyphera. The word means is organism with holes. Organism whole होता. These are non-motile animal attached to some solid support. से non-motile and solid supports. There are holes. वही holes पे कहता है spore कहता all over the body मतलब पूरे body में holes होता है. This leads to the canal system that helps circulating water. Canal system होता है उसको circulating water कहता है through the body to bring the food and oxygen. These animals are covered with a hard outside layer. Or skeleton. The body design involves very minimal differentiation and division to tissues. They are commonly called sponges. They are mainly found in marine habitats. Eupelectilia, cycons, spongilla, cycons, Eupelectila, Coelenterata nidaria कहता है. These are animal living in water. They show more body design differentiated. There is a more This is the cavity of the body. The body is made up of two layer of cells. Two layer of cells. One makes up cells on the outside of the body, and the other neck makes the inner lining of the body. Some of these species live in colonies, and corals will, while others have a solitary like span. Hydra, jellyfish, and sea anemia are common example of sea anemone, सिलेंट्रेटा निडरिया का सिनेमोन ओबेलिया भी आता है इसमें जेलीफिश प्लेटी Platyhelminthes. The body of animal in this group of four is far more complexly designed than in the two other groups we have considered so far. This body is bilaterally symmetrical, meaning that the left and the right halves and the body of the design. There are three layers of cells. Differentiated tissue. Differentiated can be made up of which animals called triploblastic. Platyhelminthes triploblastic. This is outside inside the body lining. Well, as the some organisms be made, there are in some degrees of tissue formation. However, there is no true internal body cavity, or coelom. In this well-developed organ can be accommodated. The body is flattened dorso-ventrally, meaning from top to bottom, which is why these animals are called flatworms. They are either free living or parasites. Some examples are free living animals like planaria, and parasitic animals like liver flu. Parasite, parasite animals like liver flu examples. Nematoda. The nematoda body is also bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic. However, the body is cylindrical rather than flattened. There are tissue, but no real organs. Through the short body cavity is pseudocoelom. Nematoda में pseudocoelom होता is present. These are very familiar parasitic worms causing disease such as worms causing elephantiasis, filaria worm, or the worm in the intestine round or pine worms. Some examples of Ascaris and Wucheria. Annelids animals are also bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic, but in addition they have a true body cavity. They allow the two organs to packed in the body structure. This is thus extensive organ differentiation. This differentiation occurs in the segmental fashion with the segments lined up after one after the other from the head and the tail. These animals are found in a variety of habitats: forest, water, as well as land. Earthworm, and leech. Familiar examples: Nereis earthworms, leech. Arthropoda. This probably large phylum of the animal. These animals are bilaterally symmetrical and segmented. These are open circulatory system, blood do not well defined blood vessels, coelomic cavities, blood filters, joint legs, and vertebrate freedom, joint legs, arthropods means joint legs. Some familiar example: brown butterflies, houseflies, spider, scorpion, and crabs. Crabs, mollusca. In the animals of the groups, they are bilateral symmetrical. The coelomic cavity is reduced. There is a little segmentation. They have an open circulatory system, kidney-like organism for excretion. There are foot that used of moving around, example, snails and mussels. Topus, octopus, pyra, union, echinodermata, Greek echino, which lizards and dolphins skin. These are spiny and organisms. These exclusively free-living marine. Exclusively free-living marine animals. They are diploblastic and coelomic committee. They also have peculiar water-driven tube system. They have the moving around the calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate structure. They use skeleton. They are starfish and archaean. Starfish are false fish. Protodata. These animals bilaterally symmetrical diploblastic has a coelom and addition so the drop intuited body designed namely notochords. Notochords list of the some state their leaves. Notochords is a long rod like support structure. Notochords stem the rod on the animals around nerve tissues and gut. Nerve gut provides place muscles and movement. Protochord is not of the notochord system. Lives out to the entire length and animals. Protochordata marine animals is belumbulus, hardiminia, and anthrosis. Vertebrata. These animals have the two vertebral column and internal skeleton allow the completely differentiated distribution of the muscle attached to the use of movement. Vertebrates are bilateral symmetrical, triploblastic, coelomic, and segmented with complex differentiation of the body used to the organism. All chords have notochords, have the dorsal notochords, diploblastic, having paired of gills, pouch, vertebrates are 5 classes. Pisces. These fish, they are exclusively water-living animals. Their skin are covered with scale plates and often oxygen dissolve in water by using gills. Their body skeleton and muscular tail are used for movement. They are cold-blooded and their heart have the only two-chamber heart. Unlike the four that humans have, their legs and many kinds of fish and skeleton of the entirely cartilage, such as a shark, and with the skeleton made of the bone, cartilage, tuna, rohu. Amphibia. These animals differ from the starfish. The lack of the scale, having the mucus gland in the skin and the three-chamber heart. Amphibian इसमें Pisces में two-chamber heart, इसमें three-chamber heart. Respiration in the gills and lungs. Lays eggs. These animals found in water and land. Frogs, toads, salamanders, and some reptilia. These animals cold-blooded have the skill of the lungs, breathe and with through lungs. Most of the three-chamber heart. और crocodile have four-chamber heart. Crocodile में four-chamber heart होता है exception. They have legs with tough covering and not neat with eggs. In the water amphibians is like lizard, crocodile, falls category. आ रहे हैं. Apes. These are warm-blooded animals have the four-chamber heart. They are legs. They are outside the covering, breathe and four limbs modified. Writing of the body, breathing, lungs. All birds are categories and see. Mammalia. Mammalia are the warm-blooded animal with the four-chamber heart. Mammalian gland production of milk, fullness of the skin, hair, sweat, oil glands. Most mammalia family produce young. However, the egg platypus eggs like kangaroos gives the poor depends on some classified animals. Careless lineage calls born on the Sweden and the doctor professor you have interest The study of the plants with the bypass first paper on the plant while serving personal physician and the wealthy of the government facility studied at the dorsally plant. You attend later published four paper and the famous book ceremonial from the vicinity of context research. It's a classified sample. Nomenclature with the my attachments. Parallel names on the figure and except important name. चलिए खत्म हो गया तो बोलते Pisces 2 chamber heart, amphibians 3 chamber heart, reptile में 3 chamber heart but crocodile 4 chamber heart का होता है 4 chamber heart का होता है reptile 4 chamber